we begin with the US President and the Prime Minister, who have left the capital and landed in Ohio to showcase the best of Australian business. Anthony Pratt, Executive Chair of Visy Industries, is investing $2 billion in America's Midwest, and today the two leaders are officially opening the Wapakoneta Recycling and Paper Plant. And that's where we find my First Edition co-host, Laura Jays. Laura, good morning, good afternoon, where you are. Give us the run-through. How is today going to unfold?
Well, President Trump has touched down a short time ago. He's making his way here to Wapakoneta in Ohio. Scott Morrison is already here, as is Anthony Pratt. The purpose of today is to officially open this paper mill. This is the jewel in the crown of what has been described as Anthony Pratt's $2 billion US spend in America's Midwest over the next decade. This plant here is worth about $290 US, so it means a big injection of funds for the local area and, of course, thousands of jobs. Now, if I had to gauge who the crowd was here for today, it's Donald Trump 1, Anthony Pratt 2, and Scott Morrison in a close third. I spoke to some of the people here today. They are Trump supporters. This is what they had to say. What are you doing here today, and what does it represent to you?
Well, I'm neighbors with the mayor and also have a factory here in Wapakoneta. Just excited to see President Trump. Excited for Pratt coming in, too. It's good for our community.
So what has Pratt done for this local area?
Well, I think the jury's still out, other than it has helped the economy. Jobs are still tough to find, but it's going to be good once it really gets going, gets the second phase going in, and it's been huge for our community.
What are you doing here?
Supporting our president.
And the Australian Prime Minister?
Absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate you guys investing in us big time. That means a lot to us. I think we got a strong relationship, and I think it'll continue.
What has Pratt Industries done for the local area?
What is what? Oh, it's killed it. It's people are getting jobs again. You know, Trump's doing his job. He's bringing the jobs back. He's opening plants just like this all across the country.
We're very happy that the Pratt Industries is here in Wapakoneta.
What has Pratt Industries done for the local area?
Well, for one thing, they're going to be hiring more people, and it's a boost to the community. Anytime you get a new industry in and more people are hired, it's a big plus for our community.
If somebody's going to build a building like this, I think they're going to be around for a long, long time. So this town needed it. We've watched our country destroyed, businesses leaving. Finally, we're starting to get something back. And I think it's all because of Donald Trump.
So there you go. That's what people are here for today. Donald Trump, I believe, has arrived here. They're doing a tour of the plant, and then I've got to say, it's turning into a Trump-style rally here in Wapakoneta, Ohio. A lot of these people here know what that is like. It might be a little bit new for Scott Morrison, though, Pete.
Yeah, we just saw some live pictures of Donald Trump arriving off Air Force One a short time ago, Laura. But I just want to ask you, I mean, from the people that you're talking to and the news that you've really consumed over the last couple of days, and you referred to this a little bit earlier, we're talking about the relationship between Anthony Pratt and Donald Trump. Mr. Pratt, you know, famously invested in those areas that became swing states and helped decide that last election. Is the expectation this time around, Laura, that, you know, Donald Trump is going to hold on to those states and then, you know, obviously become president for a second term?
Well, you know, these people here are probably a better gauge than the opinion polls if you look at what happened at the last election here in America. But you'd have to think at this stage, yes, he's looking like he will get a second term. The next election is until the end of 2020. I would also say, though, that the Democrats don't yet have a candidate. So it's really hard to gauge when you don't know who the two runners will be when it finally gets to that final vote. As you know, Pete, in America, they go through this huge primaries process, but, you know, we're not in an election campaign just yet, but it certainly feels like one for a lot of the people here, and they said it flat out to me. Donald Trump has changed their lives. As soon as he got elected, they felt like the investment came back into their towns, the jobs came back into their towns, their kids were starting to get more opportunity. Real or imagined, it doesn't really matter. This is what these people are living here in Wapakoneta in Ohio, and it is a similar story across some of the Midwest. So they are passionate Trump supporters. They weren't necessarily Republican voters, but they're certainly Trump people.
All right, Laura J's right across the details, travelling with our Prime Minister Scott Morrison over the last couple of days and continuing to travel with Scott Morrison. We are watching those live pictures, waiting for the President and the Prime Minister to arrive. As Laura was referring to, very much feels like a campaign trail, very much looks like it too. You've got a couple of hundred locals there, obviously Trump supporters who will be getting behind, no doubt, everything that he has got to say.